Now we're going to see one of the most important part, or the most interesting and important part of the HTML that we're going to see and use during this course. So this is where we're going to store the data, and we're going to exchange this data with Excel. And of course in Excel we have tables, and in HTML, of course, what is important is the table structure. And here is how you can structure a table. You put everything between the opening tag table and the closing tag table. You can set properties or attributes like border equal to 1. So this table will have a border of 1. Then to define the rows and the columns of a table, for each row you define here a row with an opening tag tr and a closing tag tr, and the columns are td, closing tag and opening tag, and with the actual value in the cell. So these are the cells, or with reference to the column, and these are the rows. In fact, we're going to see what happened if I'm going to launch this one. We get row 1 column 1, row 1 column 2, row 2 column 1, row 2 column 2, which is exactly what we type here. Then we can also have not only columns of this type, but also we can have header, so that we have, for example, name this one and salary this one. Okay, so I have a header which is displayed in blank, in bold. Okay, we're gonna see this. Okay, so a table with a header. So these two are in bold because are th elements. See here, so this is new with respect to what we had before. Columns here, and then here we have the column of the first row, which are headers. Then we can set attributes like border, but also the cell padding, the cell spacing. So the text inside the cell have a space around the text of 5 points, and the space between cells is 5. Okay, so if I'm gonna run the third example, you see now that with respect to this one, you see this is the space between cells, it became bigger, but also the space around the text, okay, here is bigger. We do this with cell padding, so the space around the text, and cell spacing, the space between cells. Here we can also see that we can use properties like row span and col span. That means that row span 2 means that here this cell is basically composed of 2 elements. So I'm gonna merge 2 elements. Here they have only 1 element. Here I'm gonna merge 2 in a row. So in this row I'm gonna merge 2. In this case I'm gonna merge 3 columns in 1 row. So have the 3 elements are all in 1 row merged. So I'm gonna run it. You see, these are merged, the 2 cells in here. So vertically merged. Okay, this one row span is equal to 2. So that means that the first, on the first column, the 2 cells are merged, and this one means that the last row, okay, the columns are merged. So in the last column, in the last row, all the cells are merged in 1. Okay, so I'm using row span and col span property or attribute. Here you can also set up the border color and the background color of a table if the border is equal to 1 or anything greater than 0. Okay, so I'm gonna see what happened to this example. Okay, the background color is yellow and the border is green. Okay, I can also set as background equal to images, or let's say that our our example was this one. Okay, this one. Save this. Okay, and I have my image in the background, but of course this is very big, so I have to make it shorter. Then here I can also set the width and the height of the table. Okay, you see the width and the height, so these are resized. And then I can also define here the width like this, and define also the header in this way, t head, and then tr with tds, and then here t foot like that, and t body like that. So this is the head, this is the foot, and this is the body. Even if I define here the foot, will be displayed below the body. The body is composed of 1 row and 4 cells. The foot of 1 row and 1 cell with call span 4, so I merge all the 4. And here the head also merge all. Okay, and this is the result. So this is the most common way to define a table, with a head, a foot, and a body. And then the last one, here you have a table which somewhere contains also another table. So here inside a cell or inside a column, I have as value, instead of a text, another table. Okay, so I'm gonna get this one. You see, this contains this table, name, salary. So this table is contained inside the table which is almost empty. So the table around is empty, and inside I contain the table. Okay, I have the first border, you see, and then the second border. Very simple. You can, instead of including text, I can use table, but even other pieces of HTML. Okay, we'll see that with JavaScript and VBA we can get what is inside an element, like this part, as attribute or property inner HTML. And if you want to get the text, we are gonna get the inner text.